Apple is not happy just delivering the iPhone first version, right? Otherwise, they would have been happy with that same iPhone that was done almost about 7, 8 years ago. But they improved. They kept releasing one after another, one after another, one after another. Now it is iPhone 12, but of course it's not 12 versions, but a lot of more versions actually in the process. But then if you look at it, they actually have been releasing things every often, improving on the top, adding more features, making it better and better to use. Some would argue it's not better, it's actually getting worse. That's a different thing. But I mean, at least in terms of the business, it has reached, it's a $2 trillion company. It is the first, Apple was perhaps the first $1 trillion company in terms of the market valuation or something. So in terms of business, it's actually doing good for them. So that's the exact reason what we would why we would need to do this, in multiple cycles, whatever we do, whether it is a piece of work, whether it is some personal application that we're working on, or office work, or whether our own life, whatever we do, it's the continuous delivery of value, check, deliver something, check, right? So this is what is called what is important: prioritization in terms of delivery of value, iterative, incremental, deliver, iterative, transparency, again, very important, continuous development, continuous integration, continuous deployment. Again, it's the mantra of Agile. Agile development is all about continuously deliver something, continuously integrate, iteration. So they're actually getting something at the end of it, instead of the end of 2 years, what your customers are going to get in the next 3 weeks. After that, another feature. So they're actually getting something really quickly and in a short period of time, and it's getting better and better as the time goes. And in the same context of e-commerce website that we have for the mobile accessories, you could deliver something in November. By November, the catalog, and by December, you can actually work on something and make it better, making it a 3D view of something, or adding more and more items to the catalog. And by February, you're actually giving the option for people to select and create a cart. They don't have to call you or email you saying, I want these. They'll actually create a cart online. And then by February, they can create a cart, but they can't perhaps make a payment. They would have to call you or some of the support team to make a payment through their card, through their credit card, or through their check, or whatever. And by April, you actually give them an option to pay through the credit card, through their credit card, if not debit card, right? You're actually making it better and better. You're trying to give them, in bits and pieces. That's all right. They're going to enjoy it because they know that you're keeping their needs in the heart of your product development, right? So that's why if you really look at the whole value delivery, the first and foremost step is to estimate. And that's the reason why we did this estimation before, right? The last week. You need to first estimate the size, the effort, the resources, the schedule, the cost that is involved to develop something. And once you have this estimate, you can then prioritize. What do you prioritize? You prioritize the scope, you prioritize the features, the functionality, the requirements, the vision, whatever you're packing into the release. You're effectively prioritizing the release, when that should happen. And then once that is there, you can go ahead and design and develop and architect and test and deploy that, again, taking multiple things. And then once you deploy that, you evaluate how the deployment went, how the product was received by your customers, by your users, what are the kind of feedback that they have. Are they happy? Then they're sad, all of these, right? And this is not just one time, this goes on and on. In fact, this is like a loop. This is like, it should be like a cycle, the PDCA, right? So your estimation is the plan, prioritization is perhaps your do, and develop is also do, and then evaluate is check, and then act is again this whole thing, the cycle, PDCA, continuous cycles of PDCA: estimate, prioritize, develop, evaluate, in the context of software.